Hi y'all, welcome back to Mulberry Branch Farm. It's Ashley here with you again. It is a beautiful day here in the Hoosier State. Sunny, birds are singing, roosters are crowing, and it's a little bit on the hot side again. So with that being said, our saga of shaving goats continues. So today, it's all about these fellas back here. And you can tell Poseidon's back here chilling out in the shade because he knows it's hot too. So he'll probably be the first one up on the stand. I've gotten a little bit lax on my maintenance with my bucks because I have to admit, my does kind of commandeer a lot of my time. I milk them every day. I take care of a lot of babies. We're doing rotations in our pasture. There's just a lot going on. Midnight wants to say hi. There's just a lot going on, and sometimes my bucks take a back seat. But there are a couple reasons why your buck should not take a back seat. It's really important to realize that your buck is half of your herd. They're your MVP. That's half of your genetics. So it's really important to make sure that you're maintaining their well-being, keeping them as healthy as they possibly can be, because we do take a lot into consideration when it comes to having bucks in our herd. Flynn's one of those. He's a sweetheart. We may be breeding for superior genetics. We may be breeding for superior milking lines, a superior meat goat. Maybe we're really interested in parasite-resistant goats. All of that kind of comes into play when we're making selections for our bucks. So when you're making that big of a decision and taking that many things into consideration, it's important to keep that buck in ample health, because if he's not healthy enough to cover your does, your best player is benched. So today we're going to go ahead and we're going to clip some of these boys, and you guys can see here's some of my, this is a junior herd sire. He's actually out of one of my does, so he's got a very limited pool that I can breed him to. And Midnight, while he's wonderful and beautiful, he's not going to be staying on the farm. So today we're going to go ahead and we're going to get Poseidon, Wolfie, and Lego all up on the stand and clipped. We're going to get their CDT boosters done. We're going to check their hooves, check their Fomantia scores. I'm going to be checking for Urinary Scold, just because I have caught some of them in rut. And some people out there might be saying, Ashley, it's summer. Dairy goats aren't in rut. Well, Nigerian Dwarf goats can breed year-round, which is actually one of the reasons why I prefer a Nigerian Dwarf goat. I can keep milk year-round because they can breed year-round if I stagger my breedings correctly. So, he's impatient. He wants me to get this done. Can we get this done? Yeah. Just remember that when you're clipping your buck, make sure you're checking for Urinary Scold. When they go into rut and they apply their self-made cologne, it can actually burn them. So we'll be checking for that, but clipping your buck for breeding season is also important, especially if you live in a warmer climate. The warmer they are, the less potent their mix is when it comes to contributing to the circle of life. So it's really important to make sure that they can self-regulate their body heat by removing any excess hair if they have any. Right, buddy? So you guys can see he's like a completely different goat. Look at all the hair. It's almost the middle of June and he's got that much hair, but sadly, Poseidon is like one of those bucks that I bought in a gamble because he was 10 years old, but he's got amazing bloodlines. And I just can't help but like look at his length of rump right there and just weep because this guy's been shooting blanks. So he's a buck that's on our farm and he's super sweet. I don't know why I keep him besides the fact that he's super sweet, other than in the hopes that maybe I'll have him catch one of my does. But I don't foresee that happening, guys. But we do have him shaved all the way down. We left his wonderful beard. He looks just dapper, just dapper. So I'm gonna go ahead and do his hooves, take a Fomantia, see if he needs to be dewormed. If he does, we'll go it that way. Do CDT, and you guys can see I've got my box of things that I felt like I might need, but because I usually do everything up here in my barn and I'm down here at the buck pen roughing it with my bucks, I'm just gonna have to roll with it, I suppose. The next thing we're going to do for him real quick is we're going to go ahead and give him his Clostridium perfringens type C and D, so it's C, D, and T, which includes tetanus toxoid in there. Your goat should get this annually as a booster. Kids need to have it twice once they're born. I usually do mine once at 5 weeks, and I give them 2 to 3 weeks, and then I give them their last booster, and then they're good until next year. So I'm going to go ahead and give him that. When you do this, you're going to do it subcutaneously, which a lot of people call it sub-Q, which means it's right underneath the skin. I like to give my shots here, right in the armpit, so I'll just pull his skin up like a tent like that, put the needle in right under his skin. I don't want to hit his muscle because that'll cause some soreness. But you should clean your site and switch out your needle and syringes between goats. Some people do, some people don't. It's just totally up to you. I know some people that don't even clean here. So I've already gone ahead and cleaned this off. I'm going to go ahead and give him a shot now. The dosage on this is the same for every goat. It's 2 milliliters. I got this from Tractor Supply. It's got 20 milliliters in here, and it should be doing 10 doses, so that's 2 milliliters per goat, regardless of their size or age. We went ahead and checked him for some urinary scald. Usually you'll find urinary scald is usually on the back of these front legs, and it's because they usually will spray their urine up towards their beard and their face for cologne, because for some reason that makes them super sexy to a female goat. And that urine, if it stays on there, or maybe they're really heavy in rut and they've really been dousing themselves, it can burn them, it can scald them, in which case you'll need to get like a topical antibiotic and keep it clean. Another thing with shaving these guys, you saw how furry he was. It's really hard for me to body score and actually see what I'm working with when he's that hairy. So if you have a hairier buck, it's coming up on breeding season, you might need to know if you need to flush him out a little bit. Maybe you need to lighten his load. Maybe he's too fat to do his job. But it's really good to sometimes get these guys shaved down to do a good body score on them. All right, so we've gotten our mature bucks clipped, dewormed if they needed it, hoof trimmed, CDT booster shots for the year. So we're done, and hairy mess because it's getting hot out here. One thing I wanted to talk about really quick before I bid you all farewell is you might notice that some of those kids back there seem small. And it's because they are. Flynn was a quadruplet. He's been moved in here with the big boys because he knows what his job is. Now Midnight, who is just getting ready to hit 10 weeks, I caught him extending the other day and chasing a doe. And I've been keeping him in with my boar weather for 4-H for my daughter's project. Because when I bring him out here, guys, it's like trying to cage a hamster. He finds every hole and crevice he can fit himself into and squeezes out. So I'm basically trying to cage a hamster here. But that kind of brings me to one thing that I just wanted to touch on. When you catch your young bucks extending, they know exactly what they're doing, and they're capable of doing the job Mother Nature intended them to. At that point, it's really a good idea to separate them from their mother. Now, if they have siblings, even though they might act bucky and mount their sister, she's not going to come into heat until she's about 3 to 4 months old. So if you're around the 2-month mark, you're fine. But I did have some 4 to 5 month olds in there, and I really didn't want an unplanned breeding, so I went ahead and moved Midnight out here with the big boys. Now, young bucks can start extending as early as 6 weeks, and they can start doing their job at that moment. So just keep that in mind. If you are raising a buck off of a dam, then make sure you're watching him and taking notes, because they'll mature quickly, and usually by the time we start to notice it, they've probably already done their job a couple times if a doe's in heat and likes him enough. Don't let it fool you if you think he's too short. If a doe likes him, she'll make a way. Trust me, I've seen it. So with that, guys, that's our buck maintenance for the day. we went ahead and got everybody all caught up to date, taking care of our MVPs out here so that when fall rolls around, they're going to be ready and willing to get in their working pants and to get to breeding. So until then, guys, I think that's going to do it for us. I appreciate you guys being here with me. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. Drop me a like. Let me know what you do for maintenance for your bucks. We don't usually copper bolus around this time of year. We usually wait until about a month before mating season, or my planned mating season, since they can mate year round. But with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Y'all have a great day out there. Y'all be blessed. And until next time, thanks for being here with us. Bye.